I'm Joyce Jiao, the CEO of Herekind. We are a digital support service that helps families after they've experienced the loss of a loved one, to provide families with support through non-legal administrative tasks that come with finalising an estate. So that is closing accounts, organising their documents, and general education and digital grief resource co-designed with Griefline. We partnered with a network of law firms who truly care about the families that are involved and have a real sense of human first connection, such as Ballantyne Law.
Hi, I'm James Ballantyne and I'm the Managing Director of Ballantyne Law. Ballantyne Law was established about 11 years ago and we practice in a range of areas, includes estate administration and estate planning. So Joyce, can you tell us more about how you set up Herekind?
Herekind really came out of personal experience. It took my family 15 years to settle my granddad's estate.
Wow.
And I saw firsthand the emotional and financial burden that it caused onto my family. My professional background is in banking, and I just felt that there was a lot that could be simplified from an administrative standpoint to give families back more time to grieve. Herekind is a digital support platform that we've created with the lived experience of over 300 families who have kindly shared their experience with us. What we're trying to do is use tech to automate as much of the admin as possible. We have our bereavement concierge team to talk people through the process and to provide that support. The idea is really for every Australian to have affordable, accessible, practical and emotional support after loss.
As a lawyer, it would be remiss of me not to ask, do you provide legal advice?
No, our platform provides support with the non-legal administrative parts of estate administration. I came across a term in the New South Wales Legal Society. It was called unbundling of legal services. It described how families could save money by doing administrative tasks themselves, while the lawyer was freed up just to provide the legal advice and the legal work. So what we're really trying to do here is support on the non-legal administrative side.
And I think that's an important point you raise, because there's a lot of times that clients will appoint a lawyer as an executor of an estate, and the Law Society in both Queensland and New South Wales have made the observation, particularly around the way lawyers charge, is we charge to do legal work, not to do other things. And it's often not cost effective or effective to say, here's an estate, you do everything, and lawyers shouldn't be doing everything in an estate.
So by unbundling those two and clearly separating out the high value legal work versus, I suppose, the low value non-legal work, we can save families a lot of money. Your audience, would they be familiar with the process of estate administration?
Not necessarily. I think there's many who do the research and there's many who have no idea. And realistically, the more clients can do themselves from an estate admin side, the more we prefer it.
With our platform, we do have different points where we determine that a family do need legal advice, and at that point we refer them on to lawyers who care, such as Ballantyne Law. So as part of that, I asked all of our partner law firms to sign a care charter, human-centred, compassionate values first, and I actually saw your values on your website, which was very similar to our care charter, and I wondered if you could talk me through your process of why you put that together and why you thought that was important.
I've been doing law for over 20 years, and Ballantyne Law started over 10 years ago. I think one of the most common frustrations that clients have when they're dealing with legal services isn't necessarily about the legal services that are being provided, but come to things like communication. Now, you might have a very good legal outcome at the end of your matter. If you are still unhappy with the way that you've been treated or the stress levels that arise, and sometimes those things are unavoidable, but there are things that lawyers, I think, can do to reduce the stress around what is often a very stressful situation, the first or one of the few times that clients will come into contact with lawyers. We feel that publishing our values communicates what we're about to our clients, and it also keeps our team accountable to what we're about, so they understand what our obligations are when we're dealing with people going through very difficult times during their lifetime, and it keeps everyone accountable.
Yes, I love that, and it makes so much sense. I think that comes through really clearly in the client experience. I know that your clients appreciate that, and I'm so glad that we are partnered with a law firm who puts that first. So James, you have a great team culture here at Ballantyne. And I wondered, that's obviously very intentional, what was behind that and your vision for establishing such a wonderful team culture was?
Law is inherently a stressful occupation, and we deal with, as I said, people going through very stressful scenarios, and there's only limited things we can do as an employer or as a firm to deal with those things. I think one of the things we can do is make the firm culture somewhere that doesn't add to the levels of stress and otherwise. And while of course we are focused on commercial performance and otherwise, we make it somewhere that people aren't going to be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning stressed about coming into work. So when we interview new team members, culture is important to us, and whether they will fit in as part of the culture is important to us. We're very open with each other and in our communications with the team, and everyone has to get along well. Not everyone has to be friends, and I don't think you can force people from varying and different backgrounds into being friends, but they have to be respectful and they have to get along. Focusing on that culture has been very effective for us. Law firms, in my experience, lawyers themselves, in my experience, can sometimes be difficult personality-wise. I'm sure I have some personality flaws somewhere that someone will tell me one day, and that can bleed over into the culture of the firm, and they can be unpleasant places to work, and that then bleeds over into how clients are dealt with and how they're treated and otherwise. And if it's a place that people want to come into, it's a place that clients feel comfortable in being, then everyone will have a better experience all around.
I love that. And I think, sometimes people think of using maybe a high performance culture has to be pressure and general unpleasantness, but I actually think it's the opposite. I think when you create a safe space and great team culture, that's when you get the best out of people and the best outcome for clients.
I agree. Again, in some areas of law, you have to be aggressive and you have to deal with things aggressively, but you can still be respectful and polite and promote your clients' interests.
So James, when I approached your team about a potential partnership, you said yes in our first meeting, and I wondered why you said yes straight away.
I think it's because you're proposing to solve a problem that's very real. It's not tech for the sake of tech. You are dealing with very real issues, and something that we deal with clients who are going through these difficult processes, and there isn't a huge amount of resources that can help them. We are lawyers and we provide legal advice. We're not counsellors. There's things we cannot do and shouldn't be doing. Clients will get a better experience if there is a resource that they have access to help them with those things that we can't help them with. The client care charter was, as we've talked about, is something that spoke to us and aligned with our own values. I think Herekind is a business or a resource that is very effective in addressing areas that aren't properly or well addressed. We don't talk about death enough as a part of life, and there needs to be resources available to help people.
Can you talk us through the process of what a family might expect when they are referred to Ballantyne Law?
Generally speaking, the first thing we need to do is have a chat and work out what it is they're asking for and what it is that we can help them with, whether there is anything that urgently needs to be done. And it's not a lot of things in this area that necessarily require urgent support, but there are sometimes things that do need urgent support. If it's not something that's critically urgent, we talk the clients through our process and we invite them to attend an initial consultation, which we do in person or via Teams. In that consultation, we're able to then get some more details from the client about what it is they need. We can provide them with a very high level overview of the process, the timeframes, what's involved from a costing perspective, provide them with specific advice about their needs. It's not every estate that might need a grant of probate or letters of administration. It's not every estate that's going to have litigation associated with it. So working out what the client needs and what's involved in the estate then allows us to write to the client and give them some very specific advice about what the process is, what we will do, what they can do, and how things will move forward.